Hello Reformers and welcome back to Mountain Blade Warband. Now, when we left off, we had just defended Malia Castle against, well, Sabula Noyan and, well, Sanyja Khan, but I think, wait a minute, didn't they run away or something? I actually can't remember, but what did happen is that we did defend Malia Castle. And we did a really good job. I think it was against Sabula Noyan only. And now he is licking his wounds. He is basically in Ikur's garrison. Frankly, he's right here. And we're now going to be attacking him again, by the looks of things. So he's probably not going to be too happy with us. But I got a report that Sanyja Khan is right outside. So this is an all or nothing go of it. And I'm actually thinking that Sanyja Khan is a little bit afraid of us because it seemed like when he entered the picture, he was a little bit hesitant. And he was a little bit like, oh, should I go in here or should I not? You know, he had a bit of the Barney syndrome about him, perhaps. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to place our archers right here and we're going to wait and see how many casualties we can inflict with our ranged units. And then we're going to make a decision about whether we charge in shortly after that. And then we'll see. Oh my. Okay, everything seems to be going very much better now. Now, you can probably see what I've done. I have replaced, or should I just say, moved things around a little bit. So what I did was I placed my master archers at the top of my army, with the exception of the companions above, of course. And everything else has gone underneath them. So obviously, these archers will spawn in first, and that means I have a grand total of 37 archers, which is very good. Instead of having 10, you know, that's not particularly going to do too much, is it? But now we've already eliminated 17 units, actually 18 and counting, 19 and counting, and there seems to be no end in sight with the amount of casualties that we're able to get and inflict as a result. So I am very much happy with my decision to do that. And we're also going to be throwing some weapons at these guys. Yeah, take that. That is what you get. Oh yeah, there's a nice headshot. And how about another one? Ah, I was hopeful for another one right there, but no. Oh, there we go. There's another one. That is what we like to see. And how about that? Oh no, never mind. One of the master archers had our number right there. They exactly knew what we were going to do. And they're just, you know, they're just piling on and helping us out quite a bit. It is quite amazing, actually, though. The AI is deciding to do a very strange... Ah, there we go. They are now changing their behavior a little bit. But in previous sieges, you've seen this. You know, you've seen this on camera, on screen, you know, what I've been showing here. The AI usually decides to stand a little bit further away from the battlement's area. So, for example, the bottleneck. You know, because they're making space for their archers, you know, they're just kind of standing away from the bottleneck. But this time around, without me even standing up here, I mean, obviously these guys are coming a little bit closer because, you know, I'm standing here, but these guys right here, I mean, the ones beforehand, they got themselves killed for no reason, basically. I mean, and that's really kind of weird because the previous defenders, they stood all the way back here where our archers couldn't hit them. So that was a really, really good strategy for them to have. But this time around, it was completely different. I have no idea why that would be. Maybe Sabula Noyan ordered them to do something a little bit different. But anyway, there you go. We have finally taken Ikur for ourselves. And as you can see, I actually did take a number of Swadian man-at-arms that were in my garrison at Nara, because I thought to myself, well, if we're going to be doing a bunch of field battles, which I firmly expected to get into, because obviously Sanyja Khan is very much wanting to do battle with us, and I thought, okay, let's level up a couple of our man-at-arms then, shall we? Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to sell my horses, but that's okay. That's the only reason why I took those horses, by the way. A number of you seem to not understand that, but I took those horses just to sell, even though it really doesn't matter because we have so much money. But anyway, we have taken Ikur. I'm probably going to give this to Lord Drewley. I know, it sounds a bit weird, but I think I might give it to Lord Drewley because I don't need the money. I basically could give up Nara, but I need a place to put my ministers and things like that, so obviously I can't really do that. But anyway, I think I'm going to give this to Lord Druli because everyone else has a castle and at least one village. He only has one village, and he is currently fielding basically a maximum company size of 30 units. And I think that that is absolutely pathetic, and we really need to help him out a little bit. So we're just going to do that, and hopefully that's going to be okay. I mean, I have already indicted Lord Iam, by the way. Did I do that on screen or no? I apparently did not do that on screen, or did I? I can't remember whether I did, but I indicted him because he was just plunging in relation with us, and it was just silly, the amount of relation that he was losing every single time I would give someone else a fief. Basically, I gave someone else a fief, and he would lose 6 relation, which is just crazy. So I decided to get rid of him for that very, very valid reason. Anyway, I'm going to be selling a bunch of these. The stubborn hunters can go. We need 6 horses. Stubborn and sway-backed can go, I think. And do I have 6 now? Yeah, there we go. There's 6. Okay, so that's the maximum you can take, as far as I am aware, to increase your world map speed without slowing down. That is the absolute maximum. I'm unsure whether, you know, having 6 is kind of like a borderline figure, and maybe 5 is better, because obviously the amount of horses that you have also increases the amount of sort of weight that you have in your inventory, so obviously that makes a bit of a difference. But anyway, we're gonna sell these things, and should I sell this? That could be used for one of our companions, but I think they all have pretty decent armor, so it's not really necessary. But oh well, I don't really need the money either, so I might as well just keep it around just in case. There is Clethy. Doesn't she have a problem with someone? Yeah. I think she has a problem with someone, so I'm not really... I don't particularly need to, you know, take her or anything like that. I'm perfectly happy with that. Alright, so here you go. This is going to be the true test of our defense. And that is going to be Sanyja Khan with an indeterminate amount of vassals at the moment. Yes, we're going to see whether he brings his posse to help us, to help him, to help us. No, to absolutely destroy us is probably the better phrase to use there. But anyway, let's see. There's a bunch of them running off to the side there, as you can see. So I'm not entirely sure what they're going to decide to do. Now, I'm actually thinking that we might be able to even deal with Sanyja Khan on the fields of battle. I know, I probably shouldn't. Probably should not try to do that because he outnumbers us greatly. And if we had our vassals here, then I think we might be able to. But you saw how the vassals reacted last time when Sanyja Khan appeared. And basically, I'm a bit worried that that's going to happen again. So I'm thinking I'm probably not going to do anything like that unless we are going to go for a siege. Now, I'm a bit worried about Malog Castle, but frankly, I don't really mind because if it does get taken, it's Lord Akadan's fault. And, well, he already owns... by the way, he's the person that owns Halmar. So if he lets Malog Castle go, which is, in my opinion, a bit of a mistake, because with a town under his belt, he also has, I think, 2 villages, and I think, yeah, and he also has Malog Castle. Isn't that true, or we did just look at our vassals and what they had, so maybe I should have taken more note of that. I was mainly looking at Lord Druli, of course, but oh well, never mind. Maybe he doesn't have Halmar, but as far as I'm aware, I gave, or was it? Oh no, I'm getting mixed up now. It's Lord Tarchius. Yes, it's Lord Tarchius that has Halmar, not Lord Akadan. Alright, yeah, these names, they're quite new to me actually, because I've never once before had Lord Akadan or Tarchius under my command. So it's a little bit confusing, I suppose you could say. But anyway, Lord Akadan, I'm sorry. Yes, I was ridiculing him for no reason. Yeah, that's usually how it goes, isn't it? I usually just get mixed up or confused about something, and then it's just like, oh, yeah, he's not... Yeah, he's probably gonna, you know, get a bit of a reward for that now. Yeah, gonna have to reward him. Alright, so I'm actually just going to go to the top here. I did shoot a little bit of my throwing weapons. Shot a little bit of those out the window there. Out the window! Yes, out the window. Alright, so I think this is gonna be pretty easy because, as we know, the Khergits are not exactly good at you know, sieges and things like that, because obviously they're mostly good because they are cavalry units, and most of their unit value is tied up in the fact that they are cavalry and that they do have horses. But otherwise, yeah, I think they're going to be pretty easy to defeat. But then again, they're probably going to be able to completely destroy all of the allies that we have in the garrison at the moment that Lord Druli put in here, because he is a Vaegier, if you recall, and as you can see from the varieties of different casualties that we're receiving right now, most of the casualties are Vaegier, so that's not particularly good, I gotta say. It's not particularly good, because now Ikur is going to be one of the weakest points of our kingdom, and I don't know whether I can really call it a kingdom, to be honest, because it is very, very small, but yeah, I guess we could maybe do that. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. We're going to expand, and we're going to get bigger, and we're going to go after people really, really fast and really hard, and hopefully from that point on, everyone else will be a bit scared of us, and then we'll just be able to sort of rest on our laurels a little bit, and everyone will be like, oh no, we don't want to tackle the kingdom of Reformia because they're crazy madmen, and they're not to be dealt with, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's probably, I don't know whether that's going to happen, to be honest. I mean, obviously the AI doesn't really know whether we're crazy or not. They just kind of do whatever it is they want to do. But for role-play purposes and for atmosphere, that's what I'm doing. Oh my, okay, I could actually die here. Gonna be a little bit careful now. I'm gonna just get back a little bit, allow some of our Mamluks to get in at the side there. Maybe they can do a little bit of damage for us. And I'm going to stand here, I'm just going to look around a little bit. Okay, so how many have we killed so far? We've killed 120 of them. That's pretty amazing, if I do say so myself. That's pretty nice. But of course, we are losing a couple of our Saranids here. We're losing a bunch of our Saranid Master Archers and things like that, which I've got to say is pretty annoying, because they are kind of, they're not exactly difficult to level up, but they do take a while, so it's kind of a bit annoying. But otherwise, I think we're going to be fine. And I think I might just cut away for the bulk of this siege, because obviously I'm not going to get into the action anymore, and I doubt you want to just see this view. I think this view is a little bit pointless, really. So let's just actually see. I don't think we're going to be receiving any more enemy reinforcements. So 46 is the number that we have to kill. Well, it turned out that there were actually many, many more units to come, and we did receive an additional reinforcement wave. So 45 was not the number we needed to kill, but in actual fact it was, I think, double that, or yeah, just about double that. So as you can see, there's only 2 enemies remaining. We've killed a grand total of a pretty... 256, a meaty 256, because of course that is the amount that Sanyja Khan had in his army, but I wasn't sure whether he would go the distance. I thought to myself, maybe he's going to retreat a little bit earlier than that, but it seems like he just wanted to throw his units' bodies against the wall, and that's exactly what happened. Now, we did lose 10 Master Archers, mainly because they ran out of arrows very, very quickly, and in long, drawn-out sieges, they are obviously not the best unit to go for. Something like a crossbowman or something would probably have a lot more longevity, but I did take the decision to only use Saranid units, and those that we conquer, which is the new rule that I've kind of instituted there. So we're using Swadians as well, because I think that kind of makes sense. If the Swadians are no longer in the game, then we have to utilize every single advantage we can get. Anyway, there's our ally casualties as well, obviously just Vaegier casualties, and actually lost quite a few Vaegier veterans, which is a bit painful, because they're quite good, they're not the worst, but they're okay, they're average. And anyway, 258. It's actually not 256, 258. Anyway, there you go. Sanyja... Oh, I was really hopeful that we'd actually be able to take him prisoner, but oh well, never mind. Kind of thought that would not happen, but you never know. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky, and sometimes you get Barney. Yes, sometimes you get Barney. Oh well, never mind. There you go. So Ikur has now transferred ownership over to us. Well, technically, officially it kind of has already, but I think because Sanyja Khan was attempting to take it, it was under a little bit more scrutiny because of that. And so now I believe it is firmly in our grasp. And I'm going to be taking a little bit of food here because we need it. Need to make sure that we don't lose, don't lose too much morale, because we do have a pretty decent army. It's not the biggest, but, it's going to obviously have a bit of, maybe a little bit of morale problems as time goes on. I'm going to get those hired blades, actually. I just wanted to check how many units I had in our army, because, these guys are always good to kind of supplement your army a little bit. There's only 3 of them, unfortunately, but, they're going to do a pretty decent job anyway. So let's see if anyone decides to attack us now. 113. I see. I am a little bit skeptical that this guy's going to be able to do anything, because he has 1 Khergit Lancer. Yes, 1 Khergit Lancer, everyone. Well, I suppose we should all wish him good luck, shouldn't we? Because I personally feel like if Sanyja Khan, with his... I don't even know how many Lancers. I think he had quite a few Lancers. I didn't even see the casualties report in regards to that. I just looked at the overall number. But in general, I think this guy is probably not going to have any chance whatsoever. But you never know. Maybe he's going to pull off some miracle. Alright, so I have waited for, I think, 2 or 3 in-game days, as he tells us that we actually let him go last time we had the opportunity to take him prisoner, and I think it is about time, actually, that we just deal with this guy, because he's either wanting to waste my time by acting as though he is attempting to take this, or he's just, in general, not a particularly bright individual, but I suppose we'll find that out one way or another, because we're just going to go in and attack. That is what we're going to do, because I don't have the time to wait for this guy to just do his own thing. I'm probably going to die here, actually, now that I think about it, because I did just kind of charge into them, so that's not particularly good. But we do have an overwhelming amount of pretty good cavalry units, so I kind of took the bet, and I think we're probably going to be fine, as long as I stay alive. I mean, that's the one thing that I feel like natives should have inherently, is an after-death camera. Being able to continue the battle after you're dead. Battle continuation, I believe it's called. But anyway, the point is that we're playing this absolutely vanilla to keep the experience as, shall we say, faithful to how the developers intended it originally. And yeah, if you so desire, you can actually customize your experience however you so desire. That's what's so cool about Warband in general. You can actually customize it however you like, and I do encourage people to customize it, to make it more difficult, to make it easier, whatever you want to do to make it more interesting. That is exactly the reason why the game is so incredibly moddable, because the developers want you to play it how you find it fun, and that is the name of the game. Whether you find it fun to absolutely stomp on your enemies by, I don't know, making a barbarian type character, going into Morg's item editor and just creating a whole, I don't know, just creating basically a set of armor and an amazing weapon and maybe a shield, maybe like a nightmare horse or something along those lines, and then just going like a one-man army against everyone in the entirety of Calradia and seeing if you can pull it off. That kind of thing. If that's your bag, and if you find that extremely fun, then go for it. That's the whole thing. And if you find it more fun to be like a farmer that, comes up from zero and builds his army, builds his reputation with all the kinds of towns by trading around, doing that sort of thing, that is also, some other people's fun, so it's really a game where you can basically do anything you like. I mean, they give you, the modding community basically gives you every single option you could ever want. And I mean, there's even a Star Wars mod. There's numerous sci-fi mods. So if you're not even into the medieval side of things, then you can also change that up, which is, in my opinion, very refreshing, and the reason why Warband has such a long lifespan for people, because you can, if multiplayer is not your thing, because obviously there's still quite a lot of people playing multiplayer in a game that is, what, 6 years old now? I think it came out in, what, 2011 or something, or 2010, I don't know, but there are people still playing multiplayer. There are people still playing the single-player campaigns, like I am right here. I mean, I'm obviously revisiting Native right now, but I've been playing for a very long time, and this is, of course, the 5-year anniversary of my series, and I mean, I've played so many different mods, and that's the point. Not every game would be able to have this kind of longevity. So there is that to take into account, of course. And yeah, okay, well, there you go. But yeah, anyway, the point that I'm trying to drive home is that basically it is player choice. If you find it fun to do any of the things that I mentioned, then that is completely up to you. And that's the cool thing about the game, because that's the ethos that I believe the developers came up with when they originally started developing the game, which is choice, decision-making, you know, giving the player absolute freedom to do whatever it is they want to do in the game. And while there may be some limitations, you know, for example, going into some buildings in the town. You know, there could be more buildings to go into. You know, crafting weapons and things like that. You know, all these things that they maybe didn't think of at the time, or maybe the engine is limited by. That kind of thing, obviously, is not included. But other than that, they just give you a sandbox and then you play in it. And that's really, really cool. And I think that in general, the same way that people will mod the game and people will change the various settings, the difficulty settings, the, you know, battle size and, you know, units, stats and character stats and all that kind of thing, that all adds to the sandbox experience. So that's the reason why I think, you know, Warband is actually a very, very cool game in general. And that's the reason why I don't take it too seriously either. It's actually really cool just to have fun in it. Because when you just have fun and you know, do that trading thing, it's actually kind of relaxing to do trading in this game. Anyway, I will stop prattling on now. I am done. And we have taken Ikur. That's pretty cool, right? Okay, well, anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.